I always wondered what in the world happened to the Ark of the Covenant. Here is an object, as we shared before, of such incredible importance that Israel's entire worship was focused upon it. The entire tabernacle's only reason for existence was to house the Holy of Holies and the Ark of the Covenant. The temple that was built, the most beautiful and rich building in all of human history, was built to house the Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark of the Covenant. The book of Exodus tells us that the ark was made of acacia wood. 2.5 cubits was its length, 1.5 cubits its width. Overlaid with gold, the ark is last mentioned in 2 Chronicles 35:30. After this, the Bible is strangely silent about this integral part of ancient Hebrew worship. Some scholars believe the ark was taken away to Babylon at the fall of Jerusalem in 586 B.C. However, author and researcher Grant Jeffrey, recent host of TV38's Prophecy Conference, has a somewhat different theory.
Because the Ethiopian royal chronicles tell us this, that the Queen of Sheba fell in love with Solomon and married him, that she had a son by the name of Menelik I, and that when he was 19, after being raised in Jerusalem, educated there, he decided that he now must return and become emperor of Ethiopia. And the Ethiopian story says the following, that Menelik, as a righteous Jew, saw this incredible Ark of the Covenant and realized that Solomon was falling into apostasy. That in fact what happened is this, Prince Menelik I, as a righteous Jew, leaving, Solomon decided, I'll make you a replica of the Ark to take, and he had his craftsmen make a perfect replica of the Ark. And Menelik, as a righteous Jew, realizing the idols were brought into the temple, decided, I will switch arks. And I will take the real ark for safekeeping to Ethiopia until Israel returns to its senses spiritually.
The idea that Israel's Ark of the Covenant was carried away to Ethiopia is not a new one. In fact, the legend of Menelik I is an integral part of Ethiopian history. And as far as Grant Jeffrey is concerned, there is little doubt that the ark is located under a church in Axum, Ethiopia.
Let me ask you point blank, do you believe that today in 1989 the Ark of the Covenant exists in Ethiopia?
I would say the evidence is 99% positive that it exists there. If you had asked any Ethiopian man in the street, any time in the last 3,000 years, where's the Ark of the Covenant?
If I traveled Ethiopia today and I asked any Ethiopian on the street,
I met an Ethiopian girl on Sunday night, and she said, oh yes, of course we know where the Ark of the Covenant is. They know where the Ark is as much as you know where the Washington Monument is.
According to the owner of this Ethiopian restaurant on North Clark Street in Chicago, the Ark of the Covenant has been in Ethiopia since the days of the Queen of Sheba. Berhane Shefara was born in Ethiopia and lived there until he was 20. One of an estimated 2,000 Ethiopians here in the Chicago area, Berhane has no doubt in his mind as to the whereabouts of the Ark.
If I were to tell you that the Ark of the Covenant, the container of Moses' 10 Commandments, existed today in 1989 and was in Ethiopia, how would you respond?
I would believe so, because that's what I've been told, and that's what we all Ethiopian believe.
The story is commonly conveyed in a traditional Ethiopian pictorial mural, such as this one in Berhane's restaurant. Supporting Grant Jeffrey's claim, the mural portrays Menelik I presenting the ark to his mother, the Queen of Sheba.
It says that they're taking perfume as a present to King Solomon, and they gave the perfume to King Solomon in Jerusalem. King Solomon gave him the Ark of Covenant to his son Menelik. Then they brought the Ark of Covenant to Ethiopia, and then Menelik showed the Ark of Covenant to his mother.
According to the theory, the Ark rests today under a church much like this one in Axum. In an effort to corroborate the claim that the Ark does in fact exist, we attempted to interview an Ethiopian Orthodox priest here in Chicago. The priest declined to go on camera, but he did still insist that the Ark does in fact exist and is today in Axum. The University of Chicago's Oriental Institute is renowned throughout the world as one of the leading authorities on Middle Eastern history and archaeology. Not everyone is in agreement as to the location, or for that matter, even the existence of the Ark of the Covenant. Dr. Norman Golb is the Ludwig Rosenberger Professor of Jewish History and Civilization at the University of Chicago. Okay, so it's safe to say, without being immodest, that you're an authority on this subject.
Well, I'm an authority on the history and culture of the Jews and on traditions relating to that history and culture. And this is a question which, in certain ways, impinges upon that study. I see no basis for accepting such a claim. It's one of many claims which have sprouted in antiquity and the Middle Ages about the whereabouts of the mysterious Ark of the Covenant, which drops out of the history of ancient Israel in approximately the 10th century BC.
Why is this claim not possible?
This claim not possible? Well, it's not a question of not being possible. There's no reason to believe it because there's so many other counterclaims that, through history. Like the Muslims made a great deal of this history of the Ark of Moses, which they call tabut, the same word which is used by the Ethiopians for this Ark. So the Muslims, even in the Quran already, there are all kinds of stories about the tabut and the mysterious powers of the tabut and the mystical significance of the tabut. After the death of Muhammad, you have his followers who give you other stories. I mentioned to you the one about the Ark of the Covenant lying at the bottom of Lake Tiberias, along with the rod of Moses, for example. And the Jews in the Talmud had their traditions about the Ark, where it might have disappeared to, or how it was taken away, or whatever. So, the story about of the Ethiopians that they like to tell is just based on legends.
Reporting for Page 2, I'm Tim Frakes.